Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo.
Welcome, everybody, to the newest episode of the Your Creativity podcast. I am Dylan, your host, and this podcast explores creativity with artists, designers, actors, filmmakers, everybody who has any creativity in what they're doing. This week we have Tim Winn. He is a prop and costume designer. I met him years ago working at a unnamed call center. It's got a name, but
we prefer not to speak it.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Yesterday was my birthday, so
happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm a little tired, but
I'm a little tired too. I just got back from Georgia though, so I was making, costumes and props.
Oh, very cool.
Because that's what I do.
Well, in your own words, describe exactly, what you do.
So like for a living or?
For, this kind of stuff.
This kind of stuff,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I do make costumes and props. That's kind of a given. Not for a living necessarily. For a living, I make the costumes and props for YouTube because I make YouTube shorts with a channel called Freaking Rad.
Oh, very cool.
So a lot of the costumes that I make are featured in those videos.
Tell us more about the videos. But are they like little short films, or are they?
Not really necessarily narratives. They're just they are little short, usually 2 to 3 minutes long things about either live action video games mixed with special effects. Like I think one of our more popular videos is our Halo versus Destiny. That one's almost up to like I think 1.7 million views.
Oh wow.
So, but yeah, we make a lot of video game inspired things that we want to bring into real life, essentially. So, hence why I make the costumes for them, because we need to bring them into real life.
Isn't there, I think I saw one where it's Captain America and Iron Man longboarding?
Yes, we did that in conjunction with a company called J Sports. And they kind of wanted to do a video with Iron Man and Captain America, because Civil War was coming out. So what we did is we kind of took the the trailer from the what you've seen in Civil War, and we kind of twisted the words to kind of, I guess, work with how we put it together to kind of, and it actually flowed really well. After we saw the movie, you're like, oh, I think we did a pretty good job guessing on what was going on there.
Oh, very cool. The next question, and question number 2 is, how did you get where you are today? So, but I think when we were working together, you were into this a little bit.
Actually, let's see. I'm trying to put everything. Yeah, okay. So when we were working together, I started getting more serious into it. So when was that? Was that 2007?
Let's not ourselves too closely.
Yeah.
We're young. We're young.
Yeah, we're not old.
Early aughts.
Yeah. So, I was starting to really get into it. And in fact, the first year I was at that job was when I really started getting into the whole conventions and really building stuff. Before that, it was more of just kind of a hobby in like Halloween. And, I worked at Disney World as a Disney character and just got to see how they designed all their costumes and everything like that. So that was very interesting to me. So yeah, I've been at it for, 10 plus years.
Very cool. And have you gone into any like workshops or anything like that? Or has it all been self-taught?
Pretty much self-taught and talking with other costume and prop designers to find out I just mentioned that I got back from Georgia this weekend. I learned a few things just from watching other people do certain things. And you just pick up on it, and I've just pretty much self-taught just from watching other people. So I've never actually been to any workshops or anything on anything. I just usually just use Google to find it. Which you can pretty much do for almost anything.
Yeah, that's true. Now, have you created any of these on your own, or do you use templates? What's kind of the process there?
Yeah, you can create them on your own. There's a couple. I find that making templates or getting templates some way is probably the best way to make a costume, because it's all about making yourself look good in a costume, or for TV or movie or whatever, YouTube. It's always good to have a plan on how you're going to build something. So there's a couple ways that I can build something. You can do it from scratch, but scratch just means that you're still making a template. You're just making a pattern first before you build it.
Right.
Or you can do it the more technical way, and you can 3D model it and then use some programs to turn it into a pattern, essentially.
Okay.
So that's mostly patterning is where it comes down to making the good stuff.
Okay. And what type of conditions are the most creative for you?
You mean like
You know,
workspace?
workspace. Yeah.
Okay. Workspace, ideally, I don't have that. So I'm kind of always, I'm not really in a creative space in a little tiny condo. That's where I live. I use my porch as my creative space, but it's small. My ideal space would be like a garage size space with workbenches all around with all the tools laid out, so I know exactly where they're at, so I don't have to constantly dig through my closet in my house trying to find the tool or the materials I need to use. Because it's frustrating when you're trying to make something and be creative, when you have to look for something and you can't remember where you put it, because everything has to always constantly be put away after you're done with the project.
Yeah.
So if I could have everything just kind of laid out where I know exactly where it's at, I can just go straight to it. That would be my ideal creative space.
I'm that with I'm that way with my tools at home.
Mhm.
Like if I need it, I can't find it, and then
It's frustrating,
yeah.
isn't it?
Like, where's the screwdrivers? I check in the laundry room.
Yeah,
check
and then you find one, and it's not the flathead, it's the
Phillips.
Phillips. Exactly.
Or it's one of the mini ones.
Mhm.
Who's inspired you most and why?
Inspired me most. Well, there's a lot of builders that I follow online that inspire me. I mean, there's a lot. One that sticks out though, as far as like, because I build a lot of stuff out of foam.
Yeah, the
EVA foam,
EVA.
the floor mat stuff. One person that I really enjoy watching his stuff, he's up in Canada. His name is Pete Mander. His stuff is phenomenal, like just tenfold above what I can do. But watching him do his thing is very inspiring. I mean, that's just one of many builders. There's so many builders out there that make stuff that I'm just blown away all the time. My good friend Eric Jarman back east, he's an amazing builder. Some of the guys I work with Stony Props, Walter Marlin, Jim McCray. There's so many people that inspire me, and just to be better, I guess.
Very, very, very cool. With the Sasha, fix that.
Yeah. Hey, take that out.
With this particular kind of work, conventions are a given. How has the response been to your pieces? Like, how many conventions do you go to? That kind of stuff.
Sure. Let's see. I love going to conventions if I can afford it. if there's a way to get there as cheap as possible, I will go to it. I think most of my suits are always taken positively. I've never had a negative experience with my suits at a convention. Sorry, there's a third question in there.
Conventions. Like how many do you think you've been to with your
Yeah, that's right. That was the
pieces?
question. Let's see. That's kind of hard to guess, because I keep I'm kind of one of those nostalgic people. When you get a badge and a lanyard at every convention you go to, I literally have this metal hanger hanging off of my closet door in my room that has literally hundreds of badges with lanyards. It's just this big pile. So I could say maybe a little less than 100, maybe, or a little more. I can't tell, but I've been to a lot. So, I mean, I think my first convention was maybe 2 years before we met at that job.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been going, and most of those were local conventions. I didn't start going to the big conventions until a year or two later, I think, when I discovered that there were bigger conventions.
Yeah, because there's conventions every single weekend.
There's a master list on the internet of every convention going on, as far as comic nerdy type stuff going on. That tells you what city it's in, what state it's in, all throughout the entire year. And every single weekend, if you had the money, you could be going to a convention every single weekend for the entire year.
That's
It blows your mind, right?
It blows your mind. It's like, and
sometimes there's multiples, and you're like, well, which one would I go to?
Yeah, I think with some of the guests here, they've had to, change things because, they went to go to the other one or they came to ours instead.
Are you talking about like Salt Lake Comic Con?
Salt Lake Comic Con, yeah.
Okay.
Each of your projects have a particular process. What are some common struggles? You're telling me about a material issue.
I got many struggles when it comes to a project. The most common struggle, the struggle that I still have struggles with, that everybody always has struggles with, is fitting, sizing.
Yeah,
that is the worst. That's actually one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of commissions, because I don't want to deal with sizing things up on people, because it's difficult, especially when you're making a pattern. You have to bake it, and it's kind of like sewing, but not like sewing, because you still have to make a pattern that's going to fit. Like this armor piece is going to fit on your shoulder or on your helmet or a chest piece, and being able to get that pattern right on the first go. I have this huge box of like lost patterns that I don't know why I haven't thrown it out, but it's basically patterns that are either way too small that'll fit like a 5-year-old, or patterns that are way too big that would fit like a giant. So that is the most common struggle, I guess, of my process of building something. Other than that, once you have the pattern down and it's laid out and you're ready to go, I can bust things out super fast. For example, there's this helmet I recently made. It's from Dark Souls, the video game. It's like a knight type armor helmet. I just had my buddy 3D model that over at Freaking Rad. He did it in I want to say 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And then I took the next hour and a half to basically lay it all out in a program called Pepicura Designer so that it was good for foam, and then printed it. And once it was printed, I was able to put the helmet together in no time flat. Right. So 3D printing, 3D modeling is probably the best way to go, especially if you can use Pepicura and it's not too complicated, because you can actually take a 3D scan of your head and match it up with the model, so you know that you're in the right direction. But not everybody has access to that kind of technology.
It's getting cheaper, though.
It is getting cheaper, yes. Mm-hmm.
It'll be like a microwave someday in our houses.
Mm-hmm.
Someday.
For reals, I wish I was a little bit younger for when that day came.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep up with technology.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Looking forward, are there any projects on your wish list?
Oh, I have a huge, I don't know if there's any cosplayer or costumer that you can ask that doesn't have a huge list of wish list projects. I have a list that's probably a mile long. There's 2 particular costumes that I've wanted to make for the longest time, but 2 major issues. One, it requires a certain type of stilts, and the specific type I don't want to build myself. I just want to buy them from this company, just because they've already done years of research and making sure that these stilts work properly. I want to be able to move fluidly and fast when I'm wearing them in this costume that I want to build. And it's a custom project that I've wanted to build for a while, but I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want anyone else doing it first.
Still turn involved.
Yeah, exactly. Still turn involved, though.
I'm thinking Dark Crystal in my head. Those creatures.
I would love to do Skeksis someday, but I think that's probably a little further down the list.
Yeah,
things that I want to do. But trust me, there is a list a mile long.
Now these creations are like kids. Do you have a favorite one?
I think for longest time, I really enjoyed doing Iron Man, and I've built quite a few Iron Man suits over the years, probably like 5 or 6. Some that I've given to people or sold, or just worn out to the point where I had to throw them out. But Iron Man for a longest time was one of my favorite creations. But now everybody does it, so it's kind of lost its what's the word? Luster. Luster for me. So as far as creations go, lately nowadays I'm really into things that are kind of more concept type stuff that's really original.
Okay.
Not any particular characters. I still, don't get me wrong, I still love, like Marvel characters and Star Wars and all that stuff. But like I'm more into making something that's very unique, or I mean, it has to be super popular in order for me to like attempt to make it, or just a really cool concept that I just think would do really well.
Okay. No, of the ones I've seen of yours, the Captain America one you did for the
That
new
one,
one.
I had to do that one. I had to bust that out in like a week. So for that one, to make sure that it fit the guy, because remember I told you sizing was like the hardest problem. We had to actually, he came over to my house and we basically covered his torso up down to his arms, up to his neck in saran wrap, and then we duct taped him, so I could get a kind of a duct tape. That's the kind of the gritty way of getting someone's sizes real quick. And then once you've duct taped him all up, you have to cut him out of it, and then you retape the seam that you just cut him out of, and then you have to stuff the dummy. And then from there, what I did is I just taped pieces of paper all over it so it covered it, and then I essentially drew the pattern out on him.
Okay.
And then after I drew the pattern on him, I cut out the paper, reinforced it. Even some of it was kind of messy, so sometimes I'll take pieces and redraw them onto bigger pieces of paper, so it's a lot more, looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, cleaner.
Cleaner. And then with doing that, I've learned with EVA foam that other people don't. Here's kind of a trick: you have to make it just ever slightly bigger. Like I would say, like half an inch bigger than what you've drawn out, because the foam has a thickness to it. And when you cut it out to try to fit it to the dummy, all of a sudden, it's a little too tight.
Yeah.
And it was a little too tight for him when he tried it on to wear it that day. It was just a hair too tight, but that was even adding like a half an inch all the way around the pattern. So sometimes you got to add a little bit more just to make sure everything fits on you.
Okay. Is there anything additional that you would like to add? That's all the questions that I have. Like any background or anything else you want to share with us?
Like I don't know. How long have we been going for?
18 minutes.
Oh wow, we could shoot the breeze for 15 minutes, right?
Sure.
All right. Well, I could plug my stuff.
Go for it.
I mean, you
freaking rad, and it's always
Tim's time. Yeah, that's my vlog. I don't really. That's more just for me. I don't really like actually actively try to push that out. I mean, I'll post it when something's live, but freaking rad stuff's the most of the stuff that I do. But a little bit about freaking rad, which is really cool, is it started about 6 years ago, and it was just me and a buddy, Boston McConaughey. He's a really good director. He's got a knack for writing scripts and really getting a good feel for cinematic. So it was just basically it was just me, him, and a few other friends that were just help once in a while, and we made like I want to say like only like 10 videos, along with the Halo Respawn series, which is not on our channel anymore. We're not sure what to do with that, but last October we kind of restructured the whole YouTube channel, and we were a special guest at CVX Live, which is the YouTuber convention down here in Utah. These two guys came up to us from this other channel called Visibility Zero, and their names were Sam and Zeb, and they wanted to collaborate on a video. And we're like, yeah, sure, let's do something. But after thinking about it and looking at their stuff, because a lot of their stuff was visual effects based, we didn't have any of that. We only had costumes and cinematics, because that was our talent tree.
Yeah.
So we thought about it, and we decided to ask them if they wanted to kind of team up and join, and they said sure. So we actually created this bigger team of 5 people, and now we can do everything. We do costumes, visual effects, and we've just been busting out videos, I guess, left and right this whole year. So far, I think we're up to like 9 videos so far that we've done.
Yeah, I skimmed through them. They're really, really nice looking. Very, very well done.
Yeah, thank you. So, but yeah, freaking rad.
Freaking rad.
Do you have any other questions? You want to ask me what my favorite color is?
What's your favorite color?
I think it's orange.
Orange.
Because it's unique.
It's my brother's favorite color.
Yeah, not very many people like that color.
I know. I'm a green.
You're a green. That reminds me that Have you seen that YouTube video? Don't hug me.
No.
It's a really funny video. I'll just let your listeners go look it up. I think it's called "Don't Hug Me" or something like that. But this video, I think the video is called "Creative," and in the video they do this really funny song, and green apparently is not a creative color.
I may have to rethink it.
You'll have to go watch it. You'll actually enjoy it because you like green.
Okay. No, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Now, your aloha hat. You're
Yes.
constantly wearing that.
Mhm.
Is there one, or is there an army of them?
I wish there was an army of them. Actually, that same that same CVX convention, we met J Sports. So remember those are the guys that we did the longboarding video with. And I was complaining, not really complaining. I was just I had just gotten out of my Halo suit because we did this thing where we meet and greet people, and my hair was a mess, and I hadn't gotten a haircut yet, and I was kind of like in my vlog with my handler Devin, and I had said something about messy hair, something like that. And then the next thing I know it, like 10 minutes later, I'm up in the green room, and my handler brings me this hat. And he goes, "Hey, I heard you, so you don't have to have messy hair the rest of the day." And I'm like, "Oh, awesome." And I love this hat. This hat is awesome. I
nice
pretty much wear it everywhere I go. And then that just kind of, because of that kind of developed our, the relationship that I have with Jace, that we're friends now and everything. So I think it's a cool hat.
Very, very cool.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like my signature, I guess, for now. I wish I had an army of them, though, Jace, if you're listening.
I like green.
I only think they come in the gray and what is it? The
red.
The red.
The red, yeah.
So
I'll take one either way. But
yeah, right.
I'm not asking for one, but I'll take one.
Well, I even got a free pair of their glasses when I saw him at he actually sponsored a Star Wars YouTube event. So when the new Star Wars movie came out, all the YouTubers from Utah got to go and see Star Wars, and he gave me a pair of glasses, and I have a few friends always trying to steal them from me because they like them apparently too. So his products are pretty awesome.
Nice. I'll have to check them out. Since we're still talking, and you've mentioned the CVX convention a little bit, why don't you expand on that a little bit?
I think it stands for Creative Viewer Experience. And they've been doing it for 2 years. It's run by the Roberts brothers from Kid History, Kid Snippets, those guys.
Yeah.
And they pretty much just have a lot of local and out-of-state big YouTubers come. And, I think last year they had like Shay Carl, and a lot of them are family vloggers. But there's a few channels like Dark Pixel and Frickin' Rad and stuff like that. They got to go. Studio C is a big popular one here in Utah that was there.
Did I see that Alex Boyer was down there?
Yeah,
okay.
Alex Boyer was down there. In fact, that last one that we just had, we met Alex Boyer, and we actually did a music video for him that he did with the Jungle Book, with the new Jungle Book movie that was coming out. We did a video with this camp up in Salt Lake called Camp Costopolis.
Okay.
And they're kind of a non-charity. They're a charity that runs for special needs kids, for them to be able to get outdoors and do really cool stuff. It was a really good cause. So he wanted to do a Jungle Book movie and include all them. So I believe that's on his channel.
Okay. Yeah. As I prep the post for this, I'll find links to all this stuff that we've been talking about. So
there you go. Yeah. If you need help, just shoot me a message.
All right. So our 2 or 3 listeners can check it out. 2 or 3
listeners, right? No, that's how it is until you get a following.
Because the people, you guys who get millions of viewers on your videos, it just blows me away.
It's I think it's just because the videos are entertaining. They're not necessarily followers. They're just watching it. So like, as far as followers go, we're still relatively a small YouTube channel. I think we only barely hit 45,000 subscribers. But that's impressive though, because January 1 we only had 21,000 subscribers. So we were able to double that literally in
5 months.
5 months. Yeah. But considering there are other channels out there that do a lot less work than we do, we're not growing as fast as we should.
So
what can you do?
What
right?
can you do? You can't make people, push buttons and.
Mm-hmm. But this week I'm really excited because our costumes are going to be utilized once more. I'm taking the Iron Man costume down to Los Angeles. We're driving down there to film a project with Corridor Digital, and that's a huge YouTube channel that focuses on special effects. And that's like Zeb's. That's one of the guys I work with. That's one of his like people that he looks up to.
Okay.
So we're really excited to go do that, and then we'll be down there we'll probably leave Tuesday and be filming Wednesday, Thursday, and then come back up here to Utah. So that should be pretty fun.
And that event eventually will be released online, or
It'll be released on the Corridor Digital's channel.
Okay.
So it'll be pretty exciting. I think they're doing kind of like this big. I don't know the exact idea, and if I did, I probably couldn't tell you anyways. But it sounds like there's going to be a lot of involvement between lots of different characters from different genres, I guess. So it should be exciting.
Okay. So it'll be like Lego Dimensions, all these different characters.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Things. Yeah.
I think that's kind of what they're doing. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So it should be pretty cool.
Well, I think we are good. We're out of questions at a time.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And
Thanks for having me, Dylan.
Thank you, Tim. Always Tim time.
Yep. Yeah, go check that out. Yeah.
Check it out and freaking rad.
Yeah, and freaking rad.
Thank you, everybody. See you next time.